This is Satya Pradiman of Cirrus Research. The latest signals report is just out. The title, Speculation Overhang Remains Even as Pullback Fades Crowding. The bottom line is that we continue to see a broader market, not just globally, not just down cap to small microcaps, but also across AI. At the heart of this is this migration away from the very few stocks such as NVIDIA. To some degree, this is good news because we've lived with a very crowded market the last year. Our CPQ, or the crowding model, has just gone from a negative, a very overcrowded market to a much more benign reading. This is really important because what it's signifying is that investors are looking high and low for additional sources of gains. That said, what we're also witnessing is our risk appetite model, as much as it's tempering, it remains in a very speculative state. The bottom line is that our defensive posture we've held will likely remain in place for a bit. The asset allocation model between basically stocks and bonds, this remains very underweight equities at this point. We've got an 11% equity allocation, when historically this number, the longer term average, the 30-year average, is about a 49% reading. At the heart of this is that you've got a fairly expensive US market that's very speculative. You've got a potential break in leadership that's quietly underway. While it is AI, what we're also noticing is AI is also fragmenting. To make matters worse, we've also got the sort of global rift that seems to be getting more adverse, not improving. These are the conditions that will likely keep these readings on their heels, forcing us to be more defensive. A bright spot here is in terms of larger cap leadership, and for that matter, smaller cap leadership. Certainly diversifying. We know there's a massive technology bias in the US equity market. That said, the industrials component, which is what we would call downstream AI, remains pretty sizable in the larger cap arena. That said, healthcare and financials have surfaced in a big way, as well as materials. So this is acting as an offset or a ballast to the very narrow leadership we've seen the prior 2 years. This bodes well going forward. Again, I think the broader picture we're looking at still retains a defensive posture, but this is good news that we are seeing investors finally ask the question, are there other names to own outside of AI? We haven't seen that kind of question in the prior 2 years. Take a look at the full report, and as always, happy to take your questions. Thank you.